Today we're going to do a fluid change on the hydros on a Cub Cadet Ultima ZT1. It's a Cub Cadet zero turn, and we have the back jacked up probably 8 inches or so higher than the front tires. These are non-serviceable hydros, but they can be serviced if you know where to look. So on a Cub Cadet, down there is a 1/4 inch fill plug. There is no drain plug, but you could check the level of your hydros right there. You have one on both sides of the mower. This side is a little harder to get to with the starter wires and the wiring harness in your way, but we can get to it. So we're going to loosen this with a 1/4 inch Allen wrench. It's not metric. I used a 6mm metric, and I stripped the head slightly on this drain here. So after that, I loosen both plugs with a 1/4 inch Allen wrench, because you got to reach underneath the machine and up and around and maneuver your arm over the top of the hydros to loose it. But as soon as you crack it open, it'll come off with the 6mm. These are some of the tools you're going to use, and this is right off the Hydro Gear website for a ZT2200 non-serviceable hydro. It's going to take 56 ounces of 2050 motor oil. So I actually bought a gallon of it at AutoZone. First I didn't know how much I'd get out, so I bought 2 quarts, and I went back and bought a gallon. 1/4 inch Allen, 6mm. So the 6mm, take it off with a couple extensions on a 3/8 ratchet. I have a clean disposable cup and a dirty disposable cup, and a transfer pump from AutoZone. Now here's the package here. That came from AutoZone. It was about 12 bucks, and you can fish the clear hose into the fill hole to suck out a lot of the oil. But what I did find is this rigid tube, and I cut it on an angle, is able to feel your way into the fill hole to suck out a little more oil. So I've done this. This is going to be the 3rd time. The first time I siphoned just about 16 ounces into this cup. It was to the ridges, so that was all nasty oil. So then I wasn't guessing. I filled the clean cup with 2050 motor oil and poured that into the fill level using this long funnel. So the first time I got about 16 ounces out of each side. You're never going to get all 56 ounces out using this method. The second time I put that black extension tube on this hose, and on the right side I was actually able to suck out about 32 ounces. But only 16 ounces on the left side. So I did the left side a 3rd time. And each time I cut about 3 acres of grass in between each cut, just to make sure all the oil was circulated. Today I'm going to change the right side for the 3rd time, the left side for the 4th time. So here's the extension going down into the hole, taking that fill plug out of there. So the production crew is off today, so I'm doing this video by myself. I'm going to put the tube in the fill hole and try to angle it toward the front of the machine. That's why I jacked up the back so high. And then I'm going to pump it into this disposable cup, and I put it in a box just so it's not trying to tip over as I'm trying to guide the hose and pump everything with two hands. So here's the setup. We're in the fill plug, the other end's in the plastic cup. I pump this, and you can see with one pump I already filled this line to here, so I'll pump it again. And it's starting to fill up. So I'm going to do that as many times as it takes to get oil out of here. Okay, so the hydros are full. The fill plug is put back in. Now, to bleed the air out of the system that was introduced by draining the fluids, you have to pull this back and puts the machine in neutral. There's one on both sides. You have to jack the machine up so its rear tires are off the ground. You're going to start the machine up and gauge the arms. Go forwards and backwards. According to the website, 6 times. I did about 8 or 10 times. Then you turn the machine off. Re-engage the levers back here. Re-engage those. Do the same thing. Restart the motor with the tires up in the air. Go forwards and backwards with the left and right controllers. A half dozen times. I probably went a dozen times. And that should get the air out of the system. Now, once again, I drain this side, or siphon. These are non-serviceable. There is not a drain plug, otherwise you'd get 100%. The first time I sucked out oil of the 56 ounces that come in from the factory, I got out about 16 out of each side. I ran the machine for a few acres. I came in a second time. I got about 32 ounces out of the right side and about 16 ounces out of the left side. And then cut a few acres, and then the third time I got about 24 ounces out of both. So is it perfect? No. But is it a lot better? Yes. Even the manufacturer's website says it is not required, but changing the oil will prolong the life of the hydros. Now, one last thing. I'm going to run this for a while and then check the fluid levels on both sides to make sure they're the same. And according to the manufacturer, from the top of the fill hole to the oil level on a flat surface, it should be between 3/4 and 1 inch from the top. So I'm going to check both, and I'm going to keep both at the same level. From the factory, I did measure how much oil I had before I sucked anything out of there, and I had 1 1/8 inches from the top of the fill plug. So I'm going to try to run it somewhere closer to 1 inch. Gives me a 1/4 inch buffer, and I'd rather have a little extra oil than not enough oil. So if you want to service your Cub Cadet hydros, I know there's a few different videos on the hydros themselves, but not for a Cub Cadet. They are used on several engines or several model 0 turns. But that's how we do the Cub Cadet ZT1.